Hello and welcome to another Project Life process video. I'm Tracy, also known as MercyTiara, and I make scrapbooking process videos and more here on my channel. Today I am narrating some older videos. So this one was scrapped back in early November of 2025, and it covers the 2 weeks of late October in 2025. Now, this one you'll notice is quite a bit longer, so grab yourself a snack or a coffee or something and join me as we go through this project that is longer for a couple reasons. First of all, it has a lot more stamping and handwriting in it than usual, and some of the handwriting I will cut out, so it might not be as long as right now. It looks like it's an hour and 12 minutes. That is a long one, but anyhow, there's two reasons. One is there's more stamping and handwriting and they just take more time. But also, as you can see, my page 2 here is a different orientation than what I usually do. I was thinking about using one of the, I forget the name of it, the Design H, I think it is, which is basically like the Design A, which is the one over on the right-hand side, but turned 90 degrees. And so I was going to do that. I actually couldn't find a page protector in that orientation. So I'm going to do it with a page protector that has 6 vertical 4x6 pockets in it. So even though I have some 3x4s that are horizontal over on the right-hand side page, I'm going to be putting them into a vertical 4x6 pocket. You'll see what I mean when the time comes. I am using my Ali Edwards October kit, but I'm also using my stash for this one. And like I said before, there's going to be quite a lot of stamping in this one as well. So I have all of the leftovers, like the remnants from my October kit, but I'm also going to be drawing from the remnants from the September kit and also my stash. And like I said, doing a lot of stamping. As I always do, I'm starting by familiarizing myself with the products that I have on hand. Unfortunately, that really funky Tony's Chocolonely wrapper is not going to make it into the page. I wish it would because I love it, but I think I had to throw it away. I'll just have to buy another one and eat another one so I can scrapbook it another time, I suppose. So yes, this is my stash. These are actually cards that I hand stamped a while ago. I got a new, not stamped, I actually stenciled them. I got a new one of those layered stencil sets about a year ago now, and I wanted to play around with it. So I just made a bunch of 4x6 cards. At this point, it looks like I'm going to use them, but I'm actually not going to. So my first step is to place my photos out everywhere. And then my second step is to find cards to go with each of those, of the photos. The ones that don't take up a full pocket, that is. So the ones that do take up a full pocket, obviously I can, I don't need a card for those. But this layout is going to change quite dramatically between now and when I'm done. So yeah, it's starting off looking like this, but no, it's not actually going to look like that at all at the end. So this is my stash of Project Life cards. I went into my 3x4-inch orange stash of cards here to pull out some cards to go on the backs of some of these things. So you'll just see me. I know that some of these are out of frame, but this is really just the choosing products and kind of placing things around. A lot of this stuff is going to change. And when I finalize it, I'll be pulling it down. So you'll get to see everything at the time that it's actually being made. So I also went into my blue 3x4-inch cards, and I have my cards stored by color, but then they're further divided within the color groups into filler cards, pattern cards, list cards, those sorts of things. And so I'm just looking through my 4x6 green cards now, and ooh, I like that one. And yeah, just kind of finding cards to put behind all these things. So look at me, I'm going to cut it down, and I'm not even going to use it. I really love the font on this wrapper, and if you've ever had this chocolate, it is literally the best chocolate ever. Like you won't even, if you don't think that this is the best chocolate, you must not have had it because it's so good. And so, yeah, I was introduced to it in Germany, but I think well, I know you can actually buy it here. I just had never encountered it for whatever reason. Now, at this point, I realized I actually had a little stash of supplies. See that little zipper pouch? I had a little stash of those supplies set aside from a couple of falls ago and realized that they might work really well on this page. Some of them are Ali Edwards, but I think I also stuck, yeah, there's a couple of Everyday Explorers things in there too from a little tiny kit that I bought from them. So I'm just going through this and trying to find anything that might work with what I have picked out here. I'm thinking especially some of these really dark autumnal colors. I've got lots of like browns and teals that are like a really deep greeny teal. And well, you can see the colors there. They're just beautiful. And they're going to pick up on some of the fall colors that I have in my photos. There's lots of oranges, both indoor and outdoor oranges. Like I've got a picture of the autumn trees there, but also my kitchen cabinets are brown. And a lot of that Lego set has lots of browns in it as well. So I'm just switching out some cards every here and there as I see necessary. And I have a few repeating cards, and I'm pretty sure I want to tell these like a bunch of stories on this. There's going to be a fair amount of journaling. So I'm thinking this might not be a bad page to have some of those repeating journaling cards. See those ones that say right now? I'm going to end up deciding to go with those. I guess I don't decide that yet, but we'll come back to that because the layout is in front of me and I can see those cards. So spoiler alert, we're going to be changing this up a little bit. Yeah, it's a little tricky doing a design with those vertical 4x6 pockets because I don't often scrapbook that way. So here's where I decide to put those right now cards. I'm not going to line them up like that, but at first I'm just placing them like that. Then I'm gonna, yeah, it's better to kind of spread them out a little bit. So we'll do it like that, and we're gonna make even more changes here, but easy does it, right? We'll do it slowly but surely. I have this text exchange that I want to include, and I'm thinking I'm going to put it on this rainbow card. So I'll just cut it down and put it there just to remind me that I want to do that. I love documenting text exchanges. It just kind of captures the mood of your days and the kinds of things that you find funny or the way that you communicate with people in your world. I think it's just really fun. So I'm thinking that brown card with the waves on it is probably going to be a filler card. And I want to take this Living the Good Life on this card right there in my hand. And I want to add it to the Lego card, but I'm just going to cut out the words and just lay them on top of the photo. So I'm feeling ready to scrap, but it looks like I'm going to start by printing some different sized photos. So fast forward through that part, and I'm replacing these Halloween photos with full 4x6. Well, they're actually 6x4 because they're verticals. So we'll put those there. And I also replaced the fall trees with a vertical 4x6, a full 4x6 photo. Now for this one, I want to document my daughter's study habits. And I think that one with the Monday to all the days of the week on the side is a really good way to do that because she does study pretty much every day of the week. And then I'm also going to be using some of the vellum that came in the October Ali Edwards kit to layer with some of the cards that I have here. Oops, maybe I won't. Keep changing my mind. We'll move that over there, and then we'll put that right there. I just like that better. Pulling some blue over to the left side of the page because there's some blue in the days of the week over here. And now this one up here is going to be an Animal Crossing story, and I don't love how the Animal Crossing colors look with the rest of this page, so I'm going to actually make it be under a flip. And then this one is going to be under a flip as well. It's about a poetry reading that we went to. Okay, so let's get started with the scrapping now that I've planned everything out. I am going to cut out each of the speech bubbles here. The first one says leaving work and thinking how much I enjoy being part of your practice. Feels like home. And then I'm cutting out the other speech bubble, which is me saying, "Oh, that makes my heart happy, Karen. Thank you so much." And then she says, "Thank you." And then she sends me a little emoji, a little kissy emoji. And, I think it's important to document when nice things happen in your day. When you get a compliment or, somebody, well, just when you get a compliment or something good happens, even when it's just little, it's nice to document it and make it be bigger in your life. This was like a tiny little, maybe 3-second exchange in my day, but by capturing it here, I took a screenshot of it at the time because I thought, this is good project life fodder. And now here I am, and spending some time crafting it, which extends this moment out. And then it's in my album. So when I go through and look at it, I will see it again and again. And it's just a nice way to remind yourself that not everything is bad in life, especially when, the news seeps into your pages, and there's some news things on this page in particular. And it is nice to focus on some of those little nice things that happen to you. All right, so we have this one here that says act, and then it says good things come to those who wait. And then it has wait is crossed out, and it says act underneath and behind it. And I want to make a flip pocket here. It's going to be in a 4x6 pocket and on a 4x6 card, but the flip element itself is going to be 3x4. So you'll see how this comes together. I am taking a 3x8 inch piece of cardstock, and it's green there, but I'm not going to actually, oh yes, I am going to use the green actually. I was going to just put this right over top of it so you didn't see the green, but then I liked how the green looked so much, and I thought it would work well with my page, so I decided to matte that ACT card. Now I'm pretty sure that ACT card is from Syncopation Designs. She sells stamp sets, but she also sells digital project life kits, and I have a couple of her kits, and one of them is about things in the news, and I'm pretty sure that card is from one of those kits. So then I had this other 3x4 inch card that I took from my stash. It has orange stripes with a lighter orange stripe, and I'm just going to put that on the inside of my flip. And then I have a screenshot here of, just going to trim that off a little bit. I have a screenshot here of the No Kings protest, all the different cities, Minneapolis, Washington, Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, Boston, and San Diego. And just the size of the crowds was pretty impressive, so I thought it was worth documenting. And I thought that it went well with the phrase on the outside, good things come to those who act. And then I'm looking for something on the inside that will hold my journaling. So at first I thought that one, but it's a little bit competing with the top, with the stripes going the opposite direction as the stripes on the top. So I decided instead to use one of these ovals. These ovals feature prominently on the page right before this, the late October spread. So I will add my lines with my journaling stencil here. And I'm going to journal. It says, although I try not to follow American politics, it was inspiring to see people come together to stand for democracy. Love my American neighbors. So I just cut out some of the journaling part. This video is so long that I'm going to cut out whenever I can. I do like to include most of my process, but I did erase. I drew the lines and then I erased the pencil lines there. And that one goes like that. Now, here's the part where I just set a timer so that I can remember to chat with the people on my live stream. Live stream with my Patreon members almost every Saturday, sometimes Sunday instead or in addition to. These little phrases here that were on that other card say living the good life. And one of the things that we've been doing is putting together this Lego modular building. This is the first one of these that we've ever done, and they're very expensive. So I don't think it'll be the last because I got us one for Christmas too, but it's not going to be something we're going to do a lot of because it's an expensive hobby and it also takes up a lot of space, but they're really fun. I'm just deciding which side I'm going to put this on, but I do like how it looks lined up underneath of the title. So this is actually a promotional photo that I took actually this is a photo that I took of the box. I can tell because of the reflection flare on the photo. So yeah. I thought about printing up a promotional photo that wouldn't have that reflection on it, but I decided to use the photo I had. So yes, it is nice to, at the end of your day, do something kind of soothing that isn't necessarily screens or videos or whatever. This photo has a big chunk in this like of our ceiling. It's our cat way up high, close to the ceiling on the top of our kitchen cabinets. And so I thought I might be able to find something in the cat embellishments that I have. So these are all my cat stuff. I actually don't have too many cat things considering that I have 5 cats. But I'm looking through, a lot of these are from Syncopation Designs. I bought her cat kit, and some of it is from Ali Edwards. She had some digital cat supplies that I bought. I think they were also available in actual tangible items, but I did not get them, so I have just the digital things. Yeah, this is an Ali Edwards 3x4 inch card. I just lopped off the top of it. It says meow, and I'm just going to adhere it at the top of my card, and that's about it. That's all I'm going to do with this one. So I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm kind of trying to decide. I don't know what I'm thinking about, but I'm just playing around with different ways of doing it, I guess. And what I ended up doing was just gluing it up to the top here and trimming off the excess, and that's it for that one. That's all we need. It's little Lila perched atop our cupboards. Now for this one, we have that beautiful brown swirly paper from Everyday Explorers. It's a very thin paper. It's used on like a traveler's notebook type of a journal. And I just stapled a piece of vellum to it from the Ali Edwards kit. I just cut it down a little bit so you could see some of the vivid colors around the outside edges. And now I have these right now cards. Basically, they say right now life sounds like this, life tastes like this, and life looks like this. I'm going to read you the kinds of things that I'm writing on this just so that you know that, even with an empty nest, we can still document what's going on in our worlds and do a pretty, still have a pretty full album. So right now, life sounds like this. I've been trying to listen to more music lately. I've made my own Dance Mix 92 with the original playlist, and I've been revisiting the Tragically Hip, which hits differently as an adult, and Blue Rodeo for the comfy, cozy vibes. I want to listen to new music, but oldies pull me right in. I can't believe those are oldies. But anyways, apparently they are. Under right now, life looks like this. It says we are watching The Morning Show, Acapulco, Abbott Elementary, When All Four of Us Are Together, which is rarely, ER, When Liv Is Here, Star Trek The Next Generation as our cozy before bed / when we don't want heavy emotional stuff, and various YouTube channels about cooking and architecture. So that's what life looks like right now. And then what life tastes like right now, I wrote, we continue to get HelloFresh, which we have been getting for years now. It makes meal prep so easy and convenient. It seems cheaper too. We've also been talking about trying some of the food recipes we watch on YouTube, but haven't yet done much. Scott makes homemade pizza often. And now, by the magic of video, all of that journaling is done, and here is how the last one looks. I did erase all of the pencil markings after I was finished each one. So let's move on to this one. It's just this card with these geometric shapes on it and a little meme there. And where will we go next? I guess we'll do this one. Yes, so we're going to do a filler card and a journaling card. So they don't go beside each other, but I'm going to do them at the same time anyways. I did notice a little Animal Crossing charm in there. It's a little rubber charm. So I put that up on my Animal Crossing card that I'll be doing later. And now I'm just looking at what little interesting pieces I have to go here. I'm doing some journaling around this. It says, in a world full of drakes, be a Geordie. And Harmony told me that. It was a comment that she made I had shown the meme to the live stream, and that was Harmony's comment, and I thought it was cute and wanted to put it on the card itself. So I just journaled it around the outside edge of the meme. Now, I think that little teddy bear applique thing is just a little bit too cutesy for the vibe I have going on with this page. I love cutesy, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't feel it for this particular page. So I instead grabbed a piece of this, what is that called? Cork. It's called cork. And look at me. I'm writing down the day that I started using that. Oh, look, I still have it. I still haven't used that one up yet. Yeah, so I just put the date because I was just curious. How long do these things last me? It seems like I'm going through them very quickly. So I just wrote the date in a permanent marker on there. What am I doing now? Right, so I am writing down what I love about October: socks, sweaters, scarves, coffee, and colorful leaves. Just a list of faves. All right, so I'm going to work on this vertical flip right here. It is a 4x6 pocket. And this is my own background that I made when I was stenciling my new stencils. That actually wasn't one of my new stencils. That was one of my old ones. I just stenciled in one color and then I slightly offset it. So it has this kind of weird 80s kind of vibe to it. I grabbed from my stash some of this orange cardstock. I was looking for anything that had an autumny, orangey kind of feel to it. So I thought that this was, I don't know exactly what color it is. It's just from my general stash. Now what I have here is a 12 by 4 inch strip that is scored down the bottom. If you notice that it jumped ahead and didn't show me actually making that, it's because when I made it, I made a weird mistake and did a weird thing to fix it. And I couldn't make sense of the video. So I thought I'd just skip ahead instead of confusing you about whatever it was I was doing. But basically it's a 12 inch by 3 inch strip, and then it's scored at the 6 inch part, so in the middle part. I just had to check and see if my marker would smear on that paper because it is a very smooth, shiny paper. It's from Everyday Explorers and it's super thin and a little bit shiny, so I just had to check. I'm going to use a Slick Surface Writer here. This is my Mono Twin marker. And what I'm writing here, it says Sophie and Sky, her roommate, went for Halloween as the narrator from Fight Club and Tyler Durden. They nailed the look and had a blast, so I hear. So I am lucky that my kids, well, Sophie anyways, sends me pictures of the things that she's up to in university, and that allows me to kind of stay on top of what's going on there with her and keep on documenting in my project life. So I'm using lots of Everyday Explorers things here. I've got these stickers. One says the best days. One says this made me smile. I've got one here that says yay. And I just wanted to have almost like a locker look, like the inside of a locker. Not that, I mean, she doesn't have a locker at university, but I just thought that that had a fun feel to it. Matted the smaller photo on the same orange paper that the flip fold mechanism is. And then I'm going to use these letter stickers here to spell out the word Fight Club, but I don't love how it looks on the paper, so I'm going to trim off the top of the paper. I just remove, when I'm using something sticky, I just remove the little guard that keeps you from cutting your fingers. So if you do that, be careful not to cut your fingers with that guard removed, but it's easy. It pops in and out pretty easily, and it's a good way to get in there when you can't fit something under the guard, or in this case, I didn't want it to get stuck. It had adhesive on it. So if I pried it, if I kind of pushed it under there, it might get stuck and rip when I tried to take it out. So I'm spelling out Fight Club with these funky little skinny letters, and I think it looks really fun. It has this kind of hand-jotted look with this particular font. And then I'm going to decorate it with some star stickers that I'm going to find in my stash. And I don't know how much looking I'm going to do before I find them, because this was several months ago now that I scrapbooked this. But yeah, here we are. I found them pretty quickly, actually. We've got this set of navy blue, orange, and gray star stickers. And they're from Studio Calico. As you can see, I've used a lot of them, but there's still some left. So I'm just going through and layering them every here and there and overlapping them, spreading them out. And although I'm not using a visual triangle here, I am oh, look, I had a whole other sheet of them. So now I have lots of options. That's good. I am just kind of making them balanced all around the page. I'm putting a cluster of 2 of them down at the bottom of the journaling, and then 4 clusters up at the top. Added another star to the yay, and now this element is done and ready to go into its pocket. I think it's done. Taking one more look. Oh, no. I'm going to put one more little sticker right there. It's unintentionally in almost the same spot as the sticker on the inside, but that's okay. And now I'm going to do the pocket that's right above it. So this is another vertical 4x6, and it is from the day that we went to a poetry reading. Went into my stash and grabbed a sheet of, I think this is called bone cardstock. And it's from Basil. It could be something else, but I think it's bone. So I am cutting a bunch of these because I'm going to be doing a couple more flips here. So I thought, while I've got my paper out, cut. And now you're going to see how I made the folding element for the other one. It's just like this. You take a 12 by 12, you cut it into a 4-inch strip. I might have said 3 before, but you cut it into a 4-inch strip, fold it in half so that it's a 4x6, and there you go. So this is the cover of the book. Harry Thurston is actually Scott's cousin or uncle, one or the other. And so we went to a poetry reading of his with his new book. He's actually quite a reputable poet. So I'm going to put together some of these supplies here to make a little flip up that will talk about our night. And I have this photo of Scott that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to end up being able to include. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to include that photo of Scott. But what I will do is, I really love this beautiful floral watercolor vellum. And I was first thinking about putting the photo of Scott down below and then putting the screenshot of the work, which is just kind of like, it shows, I think, the inside cover of the book and then a little blurb about the book. but I'm going to do something different instead. What I'm going to do is I'm looking through my 6 by 8 inch stamps because I knew that I had some good journaling ones, and I thought I might be able to find some lines that I can stamp here. I mean, you could pretty easily just draw lines too, right? But I have a couple of stamp sets here that I thought would be a good size and also good, I guess, spacing for what I'm looking for. So this is going to change a lot between now and when I'm finished with it, but I decided to put that little screenshot of his book. And on the outside, at first I was thinking I would put the cover of his book. And you know, that's pretty nice. I would have liked it like that, but I didn't end up going with that. So we're going to go down this path a little ways before I decide what I actually want to do here. And this is part of the reason why this video is so long, is there were a lot of different creative decisions made along the way, and I really took my time with it. I was really liking the process and just enjoying it. I wasn't really thinking about how much time was going by or whether I was being super efficient or anything like that, just kind of vibing with the project. None of this is going to stay like this. It's all going to change. But, you know, these are different options. I think that this option looks pretty good. Would have looked good like that. And then I did notice these stamps, and I would have never decided to actually do it this way. But if I hadn't actually just seen that stamp set, which I wasn't really planning to use, but it was a Friday night. So I took the Friday stamp, and I'm going to do some repetitive stamping to create my own pattern for what's going to become the outside of this card. And so I grabbed a bunch of Stampin' Up! Inks that were similar colors to the other colors that are already on the page. So there's a brown, a green, a couple greens, and a yellow. I think the yellow is crushed curry. This brown is probably pecan. What's it called? Pecan pie. I think that green is called soft succulent. And so, sorry about my head there, but I'm just going to be making Friday in the pecan pie. And I'm just stamping it on my Glassboard Studio craft mat here, which I've been using. At this point, it was fairly new. I still have it here, and I'm using it, of course, and I'm really loving it. So then I did that soft succulent, and now I'm doing crushed curry. Just repeating the word Friday, and now I'm using this green. It's probably old olive. Next, I will repeat the pecan pie. And the lovely thing about doing this on a glass board is that the extra ink, like I don't have to mask anything off except for right here, because I don't want to get any on the other part of my card. But it doesn't matter that some of it is coming off of some of the ink is going off onto the background. Because it's glass, I can just wipe it down with either my stamp cleaner or a baby wipe or whatever at the end of the project, and everything is all clean and ready to go. So I'll just put all those inks away, take that off, and I just used I think my baby wipes were all dried out, so I just sprayed some water on it and used my dry baby wipe to wipe everything down. And there we go. Now I have I think it's a really cool looking card that will be, and it's so cool looking that I kind of decided, wait a second, do I want this to be on the inside, or I think I want this on the outside, I realized. So let's make another one of these. And I'm just going to take everything off of this one, and I'm going to cut it down and glue it to the other one that I'm making. I still want this beautiful vellum on the inside, but I'd like the outside to have this Friday pattern on it. It's just so pretty. I couldn't bear to have it be under underneath. Let's move this up a little bit. That's just this October moment. There's lots of those on the page before this, so it's nice to have that repetition with the page before. There were a few little areas of stray ink that I just used my goo. It's like a sticker eraser. It balls up glue and removes it off of your page, but it's also sometimes good for removing stray ink. Now, when I moved this chipboard piece, the sticky backing stayed behind on whatever else it was glued to, so I had to re-glue it down with wet glue. And now we'll put this on here. It doesn't have to be super glued down because this is going to be the part that's inside of the pocket, right? So once it's in there, it'll stay put. We'll glue this one down really well because this is the part that will be handled. Let's add a magnet while we're at it. So these are my little 8, I think they're actually 5 by 2 inch magnets. I also have 8 by 2 inch magnets, but I tend to use the 5 by not inch, no, 5 by 2 millimeter, of course, magnets. And we'll just put it right there. And then what I'll do is I'll take, so yeah, it looks like I've already kind of done the magnet mechanism while I was trying to decide what size they were and say the right words. So I have this set of little tab stickers, and I really love how they look with this particular month's cards. These are old, they're from some other year. I do believe they're Ali Edwards though. I'm just going to handwrite lift me and put a little arrow beside it. And that's enough for that one. I'll staple it in place just so it stays put. And now let's decide what's going to go on the top here. I'm thinking I'll use these quote chipboard pieces. And then I'm going to go back to those stamp sets that I had pulled out before with the lines, with the journaling lines on them. So this is an Ellie Studio stamp set. I can't remember which set it is, but it's one of the noted stamp sets. They come in set 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think 5 now. And I am just going to mask off where I want the quotation marks to go. So that washi tape right there is going to hold some space for the bottom set of quotations. I'm going to stamp this twice, so I want the lower lines to land on that washi tape. Whoops. And there's where those will go. And then I want to do the same up on the top. So let's cut the washi tape and put it right there. That will give us some space that doesn't have, oops, moving it up a little bit because of the way that the lines lined up. There we go. And you know, it's all right that the stamp didn't stamp perfectly at the bottom there. I'm going to be writing on it anyways, and you probably won't even tell once I've got my writing on it. So those will go there and there, and now I just have to write out the journaling. So just told the story of how we came to hear about the poetry reading and how we went to it. It was a lot of fun. Not a typical thing we usually do on a Friday night, but it was a lot of fun to go out to the city and have a nice meal and then hear some great poetry. So I just put the same tab, well, not the same tab, but a tab from the same sticker sheet on the other flip that goes on the other side. Then I just have a news article here. I think it's kind of notable that Andrew lost his prince title, so I wanted to make sure that I documented that. Of course, Canada is a member of the Commonwealth, so he was our prince too. I guess, technically, sort of. Um, People have their thoughts on that, but anyhow, I thought it was worth documenting, so I put bye-bye. I just thought it was kind of like a fun little snarky thing to say about him. And then I also found, I went back to my bad day stamps that I used last week on last week's layout, and I'm just gonna take the one that says holy crap, because it's sort of a big deal that this happened. There were a lot of now we know, I'm narrating this in February, and so now we know that the reason, I guess King Charles knew what was coming before the rest of us did, because now he's been arrested just yesterday, or I think the day before or something. So yeah. This was big news when it happened, and little did we know there was even bigger news coming down the lines. Nice to see some semblance of accountability for behavior. So holy crap and bye-bye. Now that I'm looking at it, I wish bye and bye were a little bit closer together, not quite so much space between them, but it is what it is, and it looks great. If I didn't point that out to you, you wouldn't even have noticed it, I'm sure. So I just outline around the outside edges of it. That will be in one of the spaces that will be a 4x6 card. And then I'm going to put this little charm that I mentioned finding earlier in my digging for something. And I have this screenshot of Animal Crossing New Horizons, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, and the free update were announced on a random Thursday when we were expecting that this game was over. They had said several years ago that they were not going to be adding any new updates for this game, and surprise, surprise, we had all kind of given up and accepted the fact that the game was never going to get an update, and they just randomly said, hey, there's an update coming. So that's pretty good news. It's not too often that you get more than you thought you were getting when you bought a game, so that's always good. I'm just going to write here on these lines of color. It says, out of the blue, on a random Thursday, Nintendo drops a trailer for a new Animal Crossing update. And then I will use some glue to stick. As you see, I put the magnet on ahead of time for once, which is the way that it should be done. We'll plop that down like that. Make sure, oops, it's not quite straight, so let's make sure it is straight. Seems like I always do these things twice. Do it once and then pull it up, straighten it, and do it again. There we go. Now the other magnet, I just have, it's just stuck to the other one by magnetic force. Close it on some glue and it sticks down there. And now I need to decide what's gonna go there. So I have two things. I have a meme about kind of thinking that the Animal Crossing was dead, and then suddenly it's coming back. So there's just a meme that kind of talks about that. And adding some pattern paper, adding another flip tab from that same set of stickers that I've been drawing on all throughout this spread. And then we'll just place the little Animal Crossing leaf right there. I'm using Tombow Mono multi-adhesive, and I used a lot of it. It is, and I ended up putting it on the opposite way than I was planning to. But I think it looks cute with the little hole in the leaf on the top. Then we'll put the meme up here on this, and I chose this green paper because it has a bit of a computer, looks like the inside of like a computer board or something, like maybe the inside of a game console. We'll mat this on white cardstock. I have these 4x6 sheets of Amazon card paper. It's just very cheap. I wouldn't do any stamping or important crafting on it, but it's great for matting. So we'll put that right there. Meanwhile, I'm just making sure that that glue is drying well. And we need to put something on this, and we need to make it such that it covers the magnet. So this is a little screenshot of the announcement. And I'm going to find some grid paper. Where do I find that grid paper? I'm not sure. I grabbed my green cards, and now I'm grabbing my orange cards. And in these orange cards, there's going to be a piece of orange grid paper. I'm going to take that one. And wait till I turn it over and see that, oh, it's grid on the other side. I like that. So I'm going to sort of mat it, but I'm going to leave a big chunk on the top so I can do some journaling. My journaling says, recently I returned to my ACNH island and have been enjoying the routines. I was starting to feel sad that the game will have no updates. And then, boom, we've got an update. So we're just going to glue this down on the inside of that, and it covers the magnet perfectly, as well as the adhesive that was on that magnet or around it. So this is how this one is coming together. The last one that I have, because that one of the tree, of the kind of autumn trees, that's just going to be stuck in as it is. It's not going to be decorated. So I have one more slot to fill, and that is this vertical 4x6. I'm going to be doing yet another flip pocket because I just can't get enough flips. I really love this currently card, and I'm pretty sure it was meant to go horizontally, but I'm going to put it vertical because I just love it that way. This photo of Liv beside her flipboard, she does not come home very often because she almost always, she just lives in the city. It's half an hour away. But she is so busy with studying all the time that she almost never comes home. But she came home this weekend, and we had a flipboard out in the garage that I used to use for work. And so she decided to bring it into her bedroom. She actually brought it back to her apartment because she's using it to write her study notes on. So she writes her study notes, she takes a picture of it, and then she quizzes herself on the notes that are on that flip chart or whiteboard. It's a flip chart, but it also has a whiteboard underneath of where the paper goes, and we don't use the paper anymore. So I'm using these old school sassafras letter stickers, which I also used to spell out bye-bye on the Andrew card. So repeating the font is always fun. And I have so many different sheets of these in different colors that it's always fun when I need 3 different colors of something to use this font. So brown, yellow, and orange, and I'm just making them look a little wonky, like not all lined up or anything, a little bit overlapping with the color blocks on the side of the card, and I like how that looks. Now I have these work stamps. This one is from probably from Studio Calico, and then the other ones are from, one of them is from what is that company called? Everyday Explorers. But I'm going to use the Studio Calico one. And it's just a little circle, and it says, put in the work. It says put in the work, work life, put in the work. Yeah, so there you go. So I'm stamping it in brown ink, and then I'm going to need to put a little something in the center of it. This just fills up a little bit of the space beside those words. Yes, so those, yeah, I was thinking about stamping another circle inside of it just to take up some space, or maybe stamping a little symbol or something inside of it. And then I thought, let's put something dimensional on it. So I'm actually going to pull out some of my chipboard embellishments, which I keep in these IKEA trays. You're going to see in a second. There it is. And so, yeah, they're in trays in my drawer right beside me while I work. So it's easy for me to pull them out on my desk, play around, audition a couple, and then put them away. I went with this green heart. I'll stick it down with adhesive first and then staple it in place. And that will be the outside of my flip. I don't know what I was doing there, just checking the other one. And let's go ahead and get the magnet piece in place. So on the inside, I want to include the whiteboard, but it's not the right size. So I printed another, I measured the area that it needed to be and just reprinted it so that it can fit comfortably inside of the little space there. That card says currently, and then on the top it says have to do, although that's upside down because it's meant to go the other way. And then on the other side of it, it's on the bottom part, it says want to do, and that's right side up. So it's like have to do, and the whiteboard is there, and then want to do, and it says, I'm going to spell out anything else. Again, using more of those sassafras letter stickers. These ones are yellow and they have a little bit of a glitter finish to them. They're really cute. Taking a little bit off of the Z in order to use to add a dash between any and thing. And these letter stickers don't stick super well. It depends on the sheet of them. So the other ones seemed to be sticking okay, but these ones don't seem to be sticking really great. So I'm actually going to staple them onto the page. Because I'm afraid they're going to lift off over time. But let's staple them down before we do that. Wait a second, Tracy, don't. Oh, there you go. All right. So here's what I'm deciding to do. I don't know what I was thinking here, but I'm just going to make a little hinge because it seems like I didn't make a if I was narrating this closer in time to when I actually did it, I might remember what happened there. But for whatever reason, I don't know if I wasn't planning on it being a flip or if I just forgot. I don't know what happened. But I needed to make it into a flip, and I just made myself a little hinge. In my 2026 project life, you will see a lot of hinges. I made a whole bunch of them ahead of time, and I have a little drawer that I pull out with hinges on it that I use for making all of these flips now, and I love it. I needed a piece of journaling on this bottom part of this flip, and I'm going to be including this photo of Liv actually writing out her notes. And that's going to make up the rest of this card, of this 4x6 vertical card that's on the inside. Right now, you can only see part of it because I haven't put the rest of it in there. I'm looking for a 3x4-inch card that I can put horizontally. And I'm not finding one that I don't want to sacrifice, or that I'm not finding one that I do want to, that I'm okay with sacrificing is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just looking around at what else I have on my desk, went into my stash and took out my orange patterned papers and found this was my orange 3x4-inch patterned cards. And I found this one, which I think fits with some of the other, if not on this particular spread, on the spread from the week before, which is also October. Just looking at what all my options are, but I'm going to stick with this one. It also pulls in some pink, which doesn't show up anywhere other than on this card, but I really do want to use the pink because what am I doing here? What am I doing here? Oh, I see what I'm doing. This is a strange way to do it. So I figured out where it went, where it would stick. Yeah, that is a strange way to do it. And then I traced it so I could find the right place. I have this sideways 3x4-inch card, and then I just, as you saw, I trimmed down. That was also a 3x4, but I trimmed it down to be shorter, so it's more like maybe 3x3. And I rounded the corners on it. It's going to hold my journaling. I'm actually not going to put the journaling in today because I didn't know what courses she was taking exactly. But since then, I have learned those courses and wrote them down. So when I'm looking at it now, I see that under currently learning, I have physics, immunology, pharmacology, indigenous health, and ethics and healthcare. I just listed the courses she was enrolled in. And then as you can see, I made that whole thing into a 4x6. That becomes my lower flap, my lower part of the flap, the card that will go inside of the pocket. And that was a difficult one to describe verbally, but I hope that the accompanying video at least made sense, because I'm not sure that I talked you through that particularly well, but hopefully you saw how it came together. It's just a good example of how when you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants, you just piece things together until it works. And, don't be afraid to try things. And if it doesn't work, the worst thing, it's all just paper. The worst thing that can happen is you just pull it apart and try again. If you rip something, you can just find another card or another piece of paper to replace it. Nothing is permanent in scrapbooking, so we're all good. So here I thought I could find her course list, but I couldn't find it off the top of my head. So I just left it blank. I did fill it in. I'm so proud of myself that I actually remembered to go back and fill it in. Very unlike me, actually. So now I'm just going to put a filler card up here. It's going to be a horizontal 3x4-inch card, which I have right there. I think I cut it down. I wasn't paying attention as I narrated, but then I just placed a piece of chipboard. It says Finding Joy in the New Routine. Now I flipped ahead. I don't include always the footage of me putting things into pockets, but in this case I do have a flip card that is on the left-hand side of the page. So of course the page protectors do not open on that side. So I just slipped a little cutting mat in between the layers of plastic there and cut myself a 3-inch slit that in theory should be wide enough for this card to, I'm trying to just kind of ease it in, and I think I have to cut it a little bit bigger. So there we go. I just increased the size of that a wee little bit. Now I'm trying to put the 4x6 card in there such that the card is sliding in and the flap is sliding through that little slit in the plastic. So since I was showing you that, I'm a little bit further ahead in the placement of the cards into pockets, and I realized that I'm missing a flap, like a tab for this flap. So I just took those stickers and I put lift me and an arrow, and oops, it looks like I didn't end up using that same one. It looks like I threw that one away, but meanwhile, I found this little rectangle one. I'll put it there, fold it over upon itself, and then I'll just use my Slick Surface Writer here. It's out of screen, but I'm writing lift me with a little arrow. And now we have a flap for that, like a tab, for that flap. Now they all open and they all have tabs. You will get to see some still shots, so hang in there. But before we get to those, I just want to give a quick shout out to my amazing Patreon supporters. Thank you so much to all those folks on the screen just a second ago. They really do help make this channel happen, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of them. Tiaras get free early access, ad-free early access to all of my process videos, plus real-time unedited versions. So everything that you see in a process video is usually streamed ahead of time, real-time, to my Patreon supporters who join me if they're able to, or they can watch it on replay. Check out my link in the information section below if you'd like to join me over there. Here again are those photos. I love to show what the flaps look like when you open them up. And here's that Animal Crossing one, and then that's what it looks like underneath. Love those flips. I really love how they not only make your project more interactive and fun to engage with, but it also gives me a chance to cram even more photos and stories into any given layout. I don't have many pages that don't have these flips anymore. They're such a big part of my scrapbooking. It just wouldn't feel like a page without them. So take care and have yourself a really great scrappy week. Thank you so much for hanging into the end. We just kind of like slid in under the 1 hour mark. So bravo to you for sticking it out. Take care and have a really great scrappy week. Bye-bye.